happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Friday, the 5th day of July, 5th day of July 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who have had any serious damage from Hurricane Beryl, we hope and we trust that you will find the wherewithal to restore your property, yourselves, to your original state, or even better as well. And hopefully, if you've sustained damage, you would have some type of insurance, and if you don't, then reach out to family and friends, and I'm sure that there will be helping hands out there that will be prepared to help you as well. Those of you who may be on our roads this morning, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. There may be still some debris on the roads of the Cayman Islands, even though the authorities and individuals as well did their best to clear our major roads, those that may have had debris on them. If you are on the roads, like we said, there may not be as much traffic as is usually out there. But again, please be careful. If you're a pedestrian, if you're a cyclist operating any type of motorized vehicle, please be careful out there. The absence of a fair amount of traffic on the road doesn't mean that you should act recklessly or carelessly, on our roads as well. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, especially yesterday, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or a belated happy birthday as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will certainly be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I have the distinct honor of being your host. My name is Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Our numbers that are functioning: 949-8037, 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube as well. And again, we want to thank all of our listeners, the entire Cayman Islands, for staying tuned to Radio Cayman, and also CIG TV, Cayman Islands Government TV, for all of the coverages and live updates that were provided during Hurricane Beryl. I wouldn't say when Hurricane Beryl passed us, because it did. We didn't receive a direct hit. There's no report of Beryl making landfall in Cayman as such. And we're going to talk about that today, and we want to hear from you as well, in terms of us being extremely, extremely grateful. We should be prayerful as well in terms of what the good Lord has done to, again, keep us safe. We want to hear, from you. We know our premier, very religious person, doesn't start any meeting without, having a prayer being said. And the majority, I haven't heard anyone dissent against her doing that. There are the purists out there who talk about separation of church and state and things of that nature. But that doesn't mean that you have to separate your personal beliefs and your personal feelings as well, to a certain extent. And when she asked to pray, those persons who believe in prayer eagerly and gladly join her in that as well. And don't underestimate the power of prayer as well. Do not underestimate that whatsoever. So again, like I said, later on we want to hear from you in terms of your experiences. We want to hear also suggestions from you. What went right? What went wrong? What can we do about it? We're early into the hurricane season, 1 month and days into the hurricane season. Some people are hesitant to call what we went through with Beryl a dry run. We could end up with much more stronger and more dangerous systems, coming our way as well. So while we know that the government and all of those responsible for our safety will be looking at what was done, what went right, what can be done better as well, we also want to hear from you. But also during this segment, it is the For the Record birthday shoutouts, and the For the Record birthday shoutouts brought to you by Tortuga, who are happy to support your birthday shoutouts. Okay. Tortuga products available throughout the Coca-Cola. Sorry, yeah, Coca-Cola. Proud to support your birthday shoutouts. Coca-Cola is available across the Cayman Islands. From Tortuga wholesalers, you should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. So we're going to look at some of the birthdays. We have been asked to extend happy birthday greetings to Liz Charles and Geraldine Scarlett. So Geraldine Scarlett, Liz Charles, happy birthday to you. Also on our Facebook, happy birthdays. We see today, well, we have tomorrow, Raquel Parsons celebrating a birthday, as well as Shelda Duncan on Sunday. So those were for tomorrow, Saturday, the 6th of July. On Sunday, we have Renee Parsons celebrating a birthday. Christian Carey Rochelle celebrating a birthday. Kendall Connor also celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday to you, Kendall, and Sunday when it comes. Patrick Vibe Gordon also celebrating a birthday on Sunday. And Simone Scott will be celebrating a birthday on Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday, the 9th of July, Simone Scott will be celebrating her birthday as well. So we know that many of you are probably exhausted after the past few days in terms of preparing for Hurricane Beryl, and then hunkering down during the period of time that Beryl was approaching the Cayman Islands, and while it crossed the Cayman Islands as well. And then, of course, in the aftermath, having to get out there, survey to see what, if any, damage may have occurred to your property, and then cleaning up after as well. So lots of work to do for many people. Some persons have to return to work today. There are most, if not all, businesses have reopened today. We will share that information with you as well. Businesses, government entities. I think the Mango Fest, that is being postponed. And some may say, well, we really need the Mango Fest now because we really do have one. Those of us, I should say, who have mango trees in their yard, and of course, you're hesitant to pick them. You pick the fit ones. But I would say that there are mangoes galore in the Cayman Islands now. So you probably need that Mango Fest or something small to direct people what to do with the mangoes that they have. If you can't give them away, mango jam, stewed mangoes, whatever, what can be done to preserve those mangoes? Because it is a shame that they, should just go to waste. They should be thrown away. But my suspicion is that there are many, many persons out there who have lots of mangoes as a result of the system, a result of Beryl passing the Cayman Islands and the winds, as well. There are reports about mangoes hitting windows and, all of those things, as well. But folks, again, we will soon be going to a commercial break, but we do want to hear from you. We want to hear, what you have to say, what you may have endured during Hurricane Beryl. We want to get feedback from you in terms of the government's actions, Radio Cayman, what we did, what we didn't do, what we can do better as well. Any constructive criticism is welcome because, like I said, folks, we're only 1 month and days into the hurricane season. So based on the predictions, there probably more to come. And as we have seen, the science of knowing what hurricanes are going to do that science is becoming more and more accurate. And of course, we have those armchair meteorologists out there, as well, or some pretending to be, because they're basically just repeating what they have seen on websites that do forecast what is happening. But again, fine. We have to be careful how we use social media, how we disseminate information to ensure that that information is coming from reliable sources, because there are many bad actors out there who seem to thrive on creating mischief and creating confusion. And when people's lives are at stake, we really don't want that to happen. That shouldn't happen, but there are those persons out there who get a thrill, from doing that as well. So that is why we always encourage you to always rely on the official sources. And when it comes to government information, then of course you rely on the various government entities. And also we ask you to rely on us here at Radio Cayman as well. With that, folks, we're going to take our first commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Radio Cayman is government-owned. Radio Cayman's first broadcast was in Easter of 1976. We officially began broadcasting in December of the same year. We used to end our broadcast day at 11:30 p.m. and signed off for the night. Years later, we began broadcasting 24/7. Radio Cayman is a hybrid of community, public, and commercial radio. Radio Cayman offers news, talk, and music. And our sister station, Breeze FM, which was started in the 80s, offers music and news headlines. Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money transfers to financial institutions, making life easier.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The real magic of the Summer Olympics is closer than you think. Coca-Cola is giving you the chance to win a trip of a lifetime to the Olympic Games in Paris this summer. Just grab any 2 8-packs of Coca-Cola or Sprite products at a participating store and you could be jetting off to see the Olympics live and in person. It's an all-inclusive trip for 2. Don't miss out on the action. Find your nearest participating store and enter now. Follow the flame to CaymanToParis.com.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a caller before we go to the caller on the issue of the mangoes. This person has written and said, good morning regarding the mangoes. The farmers should now sell their mangoes at $1 a pound or less so that they can be used. Otherwise, they're going to waste because no one is going to buy many pounds at $4 per pound. And the person says, just saying, and appreciate that. Yeah, when there's a glut in the market, you have to reduce your prices. Otherwise, you end up keeping them for yourself as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Minister Brian here. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Minister Brian. I am fine. How are you doing and how is your family doing?
We are all well and we are blessed. Thank the good Lord. Just on the minor cleanups early this morning so we can get back to business out in the community and in the country.
Certainly.
I'm calling this morning to say, first off, thank you to your amazing staff at the Radio Cayman. Sorry, once again. Guys, at the radio station. You guys did such an amazing job reporting to the public and letting everybody know what was going on. I think without you guys, everybody would have been a bit uneasy. So thank you so much for that.
You're most welcome, sir.
The main issue, though, is that I would like to encourage persons out there to remember this is the early part of the season. Mm-hmm. This is the first storm, and we got a long way to go before we're out of the woods. And I want people to keep the plywood that they receive, store it away. Also your sandbags, because I know if anybody out there who still their own sandbags knew that it was a lot of work. So go ahead and put your sandbags to the side, store them to the side, so we don't have to overwhelm ourselves the next time around with this. Particularly also with canned goods and dried goods. If you're in the position to be able not to consume them now, just put them away and have them stored and be ready in the event that we have another storm. That way we can be prepared even quicker if we have to go through this process again. I just wanted to leave you with that because as we're all getting back to normal, sometimes we'll get back in our habits and not remember that the storms or hurricane season isn't over. So keep the wood, keep the plywood, store it up, keep your sandbags stored up, keep your dry goods, your batteries and so forth, and keep them ready so we can get through the rest of the season together. All right. Thank you so much.
Minister, before you go, and I have the details here, but I want to give you an opportunity to talk about it if you so wish. Yesterday, the Cayman Airways did issue a press release in terms of their return to service and when flights would resume and everything. I don't know, if you want to, in your official capacity, speak to Cayman Airways taking to the skies again.
Well, I was just going to close up by saying that we have a press conference today at 1 p.m.
Okay.
Led by the Honorable Premier and Governor, and myself and the Deputy Premier and Minister of Health will also be giving a update on all of the island's operations so that everybody knows where we're at and trying to get back to normal. I was planning to cover it there, so I don't mind if you cover the press release in itself, but in a bigger general term, I'll be covering the operations, trying to get the country back up and going for tourism, because you know how many people depend heavily on that to make sure guests are coming in, cruise lines are back, so people can continue to make money. You can't have too much of a gap in between operations because people still need to survive and eat. So I'm happy if you go ahead with what we have already released. I'll be giving a wider general update as per the operations.
Certainly, and we're fortunate that we can really concentrate on getting back to where we were or where we want to go, because as a result of people being prepared, and while there is some damage, the major focus doesn't have to be on that, and we can focus on those small things that have to be done, and while at the same time placing a lot of emphasis on the big picture.
Exactly, because we want to make sure that all of those reservations that were made for our beautiful country are not skipped out in any way. So that's the number one priority right now, is telling the world we're okay and that we're safe and we're open for business. So I'll be giving a general overview on everything tourism related and all my constitutional responsibilities. But I also want to say just quickly, I'm very proud of my constituency. We operated very well. I would say about 95% of my people were prepared. They responded well, and things look good. And I'm proud of the whole country, to be honest with you. We did very good. We had an early enough warning, and we didn't see too much chaos. And if God forbid we have another storm, it should be even less because we're mostly prepared already. So with that being said, I encourage everybody to let everybody know that we have a press conference at 1 o'clock today. The government will tell you where we're at with post the storm and getting operations back to normal. 1 o'clock today. I'm certain that Radio Cayman will be carrying it as well. It will be live on YouTube and the government and GIS YouTube channels.
Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you very much. And again, kudos to you, and thanks for all the work that you have done as a minister and, also as a representative, in your constituent. But we know also that it isn't limited to just that. Anyone can reach out to you, and if you can, you certainly, offer assistance, advice, or whatever that you can. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay. So, folks, very quickly, while we're still on that topic, let me just give you a summary, and I'm going to give it to you the same way that it was sent out by Cayman Airways. So they sent this out and said, please see the attached with the latest news about Cayman Airways operations and their main updates. And there were four areas. Number one, their fleet and crew were in the and this was from yesterday, in the process of returning home from safe shelter overseas. Number two, a special flight has been added from Miami for today, the 5th of July, to make it easier for residents to return home if they evacuated. Number three, regular scheduled flights resume as normal today as well. and domestic flights were canceled for yesterday, but will resume today. They say tomorrow, which is now today, with some schedule adjustments. So those were the highlights that they pointed out in terms of their change. Very quickly, I would also say that some people react when we have hurricanes and they say, well, you want to see who's really believes in Cayman, who's a true Caymanian. Look at who leaves and who stays. I would say that it is unfair to judge it that way, because if you're a Caymanian and you feel that your family needs really to be in a safe place, you should do that. It shouldn't have anything to do with your allegiance to the Cayman Islands. It should have more to do with the safety of your family, your loved ones as well. There are those who can't leave because of the nature of their work and the responsibilities that they have. And there are some who would remain simply because they want to be here. They want to be here to help if needed, as well. So don't judge a person's commitment to the country just based on the fact that they left when a hurricane was approaching the Cayman Islands. We have to dig deeper into that before you make that sort of a judgment as well. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation will continue. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman time check now, 8 a.m. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
Storm smart with Foster's this hurricane season. Water is essential for hurricane prep. Ensure you have at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days. Dehydration is a serious risk during emergencies. Stock up at Foster's and ensure you have enough to keep you and your loved ones hydrated throughout a storm. Go to fosters.ky/emergency-checklist for more information. Be safe and get hurricane ready with Foster's to stay ahead of the storm.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. So Hurricane Beryl has come and gone, and it's time for government to take a look at what they did well and where improvements can be made. I caught up with Director of Hazard Management, Danny Coleman, this morning.
Like with any emergency, we'll be meeting over the next couple of days to ensure that our debrief is conducted. We've done a hot debrief already of all the lessons learned throughout the whole incident. We've been actually recording those. There's always lessons to be learned in any activation. And again, I think we're very strong believers that we always should be pressing to ensure that our processes and activities are very much in line with best practice.
So if we break down a few things, what did you think about your shelter activation?
What we usually do is activate a triage system depending on the risk in regards to shelters. And originally we had the triage of 1 per district and took the decision the day before the storm to activate all shelters. And I think, again, that was a good decision. At very least, obviously, it activates the teams and makes sure the teams are ready to go for any emergency in future. But of course, it gives people much more options.
You feel like all the bases were covered there?
Our community emergency response teams and voluntary agencies, in particular the Red Cross, did an absolutely stellar job to make sure that the wellness checks were done, helping with shelters and so forth, as well as, of course, our shelter volunteers who really did step up to the game and did everything they can to make sure the experience in the shelters was a positive one.
Having been here myself since 2006, I got to say I've really noticed a difference in communications this time around.
The Joint Communication Services under the National Emergency Operations Centre were very, very productive and very proactive with getting messages out, not just on personal safety, of course, but also on the sort of restoration, the cleanup afterwards, what the secondary hazards and so forth. Obviously, we use the National Emergency Notification app in Hurricane Beryl, and we strongly encourage you, if you don't have that app downloaded, please do so. neans.gov.ky.
So boil it down for me. What's the key takeaways?
The early activation of the system, the National Emergency Operations Centre. So much work has been going on, even last week and the weeks before, but obviously in the last 4 days before the storm hit, of the whole system. And as a result, we could scale back or pair forward. And I think what we did, obviously, was go all out. And again, I think it really worked well. The resilience of Cayman, I think, was really demonstrated this week, and the ability to bounce back. Even the restoration of the utilities and the restoration of, or the cleaning of the roads was very, very apparent yesterday. And I think Cayman can wake up this morning and feel very, very content with the state of the islands. Again, encouraging people to be prepared for the rest of the season. We have a long season ahead of us. Please make sure your personal cleaning up at the houses is done safely. And please, again, continue to look at our messaging on safety and secondary hazards.
It was a pretty intense few days. Any messages to residents and visitors who weathered the storm?
Strongly encouraging everyone to, really think about their mental health today, and of course always. But it's just so important after that kind of close call and the anxiety that's been across the region over the last few days with Beryl. It's really important just to take some time out, maybe have a digital detox, maybe spend some time with family, and just have a bit of time to spend for yourselves and stay safe.
Beryl wreaked havoc across the Caribbean, destroying property and leaving homes without power. It's making landfall on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula this morning. Across the Caribbean, at least 10 people are known to have died. Now, with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Keir Starmer says Britain has voted for national renewal, and his government will serve all of its people, whether they voted for his Labour Party or not. The Labour leader was speaking in Downing Street after being formally appointed Prime Minister by King Charles following the landslide general election victory. He said he would put the country first and the party second.
We can make a start today with the simple acknowledgement that public service is a privilege and that your government should treat every single person in this country with respect.
The Liberal Democrats and the populist Reform Party benefited from the Conservatives' collapse. The Liberal Democrats increased their representation by more than 60 seats, but under Britain's constituency-based electoral reform system, Reform won just 4. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
If you or your loved one is facing cancer, only Sylvester will stand firmly by your side at every step, from diagnosis through survivorship, providing you and your family peace of mind and assisting with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center is South Florida's only NCI-designated cancer center and specializes in treating the most complex cancer cases. Your first-class cancer care is just a flight away. Learn more at sylvester.org.
The Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office remind all students traveling to and from school overseas to ensure their passports are valid for both travel and entry into their destination country. Passports should be renewed at least 10 weeks before departure, and any necessary student visas must be obtained. For passport services, contact the Passport and Corporate Services Office at 649-7678. For Ministry of Education scholarship inquiries, contact scholarships@gov.ky. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good Friday morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your weather. Compliments to our friends at CG Britcay. Present temperature feels like about 93 degrees Fahrenheit. It's nice and sunny, but partly cloudy. Winds are out of the east at 7 miles per hour. Relative humidity about 87%. Barometric pressure is at 29.83 inches. Last night's low temperature was at 83. Light to moderate easterly winds and seas are expected across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours in association with a ridge of high pressure over the northern Caribbean. Further east, a tropical wave just east of the Cayman area is expected to move into our area overnight, supporting an increased chance of cloudiness and showers. Our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s with a heat index near 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Looking at tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. High tide is coming up within the hour at 8:52. It's going to be low at 3:21 this afternoon. High again at 10:15 tonight. The outlook is for an increase in cloudiness and showers as a tropical wave moves over the Cayman Islands. And that, my friends, is your latest weather.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded. And the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Quality of sleep is vital for maintaining good mental and physical health. Sleeping helps repair and restore our brains, not just our bodies. Sleep apnea is a condition that causes you to stop breathing while you sleep. To protect you, your brain wakes you up so you can resume breathing again. Did you know men are more at risk along with elderly and those overweight? Symptoms can include loud snoring, difficulty staying asleep, waking up short of breath, and fatigue, among many others. If it goes untreated, sleep apnea can cause serious health complications, but with medical assistance can be mitigated and even avert the risk of more serious complications.
Your health tip was brought to you by Total Health, comprehensive preventative health care in the Cayman Islands.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
All right, good morning once again, my friends. Let's take a look at the traffic situation. We do see some traffic along Crew Road, just outside Jose's gas station, heading into the Georgetown area. Of course, that traffic is trying to head on to Shedden Road or Roberts Drive and continuing on. Bobby Thompson Way as well, seeing a little bit of traffic, not too bad, as you continue on to Huldah Avenue with some slow-moving traffic towards the CNB roundabout. But of course, Linford Pearson and some parts of Crew Road, we do see some movement of traffic until getting into the slow-moving traffic. Going through South Sound, of course, those turning up Walker's Road will experience some good flowing traffic until nearing the Georgetown area. It starts to slow up just a little bit as you make your way into the inner streets of Georgetown. Going up to South Church Street, up to Seafarers Way, North Church Street. Seeing light traffic there as well. Traffic coming out of West Bay Road, flowing smoothly into the Georgetown area. Some little bit light traffic along the Tibbetts Highway as you get on to the Butterfield roundabout. Shedden Road, of course, Eastern Avenue, Godfrey Nixon Way will get busy this time of the morning, but traffic seems to be flowing smoothly. And of course, Cayman Bracknell, Cayman, good morning to you. Light traffic in your area. Buckle up and stay safe and enjoy the weekend when it comes. That's your latest traffic reports.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment is to ensure our islands consider responsible use of our natural resources while preserving our native species and habitats for future generations. Learn more at conservation.ky.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Today is Friday the 5th of July, one day after the passage of Hurricane Beryl south of the Cayman Islands. Some damage, but it could have been worse. And we are extremely grateful. We are extremely thankful. We want to hear from you. I'm sure that you probably heard enough of me during the past few days, as well. But we want to hear from you. We want to hear, of your experiences as well. If you want to talk about other things, we can talk about those as well. We can talk about the landslide victory of the Labour Party in the UK, Keir Starmer and his Labour Party. You have heard the news. He has already visited the King. And, of course, the King has asked him to form a government, and he will do so. What is convenient for him is that he does not have to seek the support of any fringe party or any major party, like what the Conservatives and the Lib Dems had to do at one point in time. He has a huge majority. I think some of the figures that we saw before had to do with something like 421 seats, and the Labour only had something like about not even sure how many, 200 and something was it at that point in time? Quite, close. 121. So far, they have lost 251 seats. The Conservatives, have lost 251 seats, while Labour has seen a gain of 211 seats. So they're up to 412 in a 650-seat parliament, folks. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Well, morning, Mr. Connor. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. Morning. How are you?
Good. I just want to briefly say, I just want to say thanks to all the emergency staff, for the job they did, government, private sector, companies, everyone was, it was a huge help, and it was refreshing to see everyone come out and the way everyone prepared, I guess, the best they could with the resources we had. Especially a lot of MLAs I've seen standing out and about, in neighborhoods. Mr. Ebanks from West Bay, Andre, everyone. I'm sure. I mean, I didn't see everyone, but obviously that's the MLAs that I've seen. I know everyone was helping with plywood, supplying sandbags. That was a very refreshing sight to see, and I'm really thankful that with all the destruction that was caused, we walked away with very minor damage.
Okay.
Like everyone said, this is the first of the season. So
true. And how did you fare personally, caller?
Wasn't bad. One broken window, and a few trees down like everyone else. Sucker trees down.
Yeah.
A few limbs here and there. Straighten up yesterday. Back to the routine. I also, I guess, want to point out that I know everyone, a lot of emergency staff and NRA and other companies will be busy, but a lot of debris, a lot of limbs, I should say, leaves are now on the road, and a lot of these deep wells will be probably clogged. So I'm sure they will be doing their checks, but that's key to a lot of areas that have issues with low-lying water, because you can see the leaves all over the branches. I mean, a lot will be picked up, but a lot is probably already consumed in those deep wells. So I'm hoping that those will be checked for a lot of areas that are low-lying, and everyone, of course, the roadways.
And caller, in retrospect, is there anything that you did or didn't do that you would do differently when you look back?
Honestly, yeah, like everyone else, don't wait last minute. I think it's a Caribbean habit that we've had to battle with so many storms. We kind of wait the last day and say, it might turn, and then there's a chaos. But I guess in respect to everybody too, there are I think we should actually be a little cognizant for the older folks and staff that actually everybody's trying to get stuff, So I don't know if maybe going forward they put like a curfew where a certain age can go out to get stuff. Maybe that'll help with the congestion and not the places are totally swamped. I don't know, something like that might work, but it was a little nerve-wracking because like I said, there's still a lot of elderly people that needed stuff also, and there was stuff that were gone and people overbuying. But I guess it's the nature of the machine. But that's the only thing. Not to be at last minute, and I don't know if there's something that maybe government, ASMAT, whoever, I guess for all the emergencies, you have like DEH and you have your NRA. These guys are going around trying to help other people, but with the congestion and on the road, it makes it so difficult because, you have your cutoff time where you got to come off the road. So I don't know if there's something that maybe a plan for that, like a alternate route. Like there are roads that are not open yet, but maybe those guys can get access to those roads. People trying to do it with garbage and stuff. That would probably help instead of everybody being on one road at the same time. I don't know. That's just a situation.
And one last question for you, caller. If we were, and we hope it doesn't happen, but let's say in 2 or 3 weeks' time we were threatened by another hurricane again, how much preparation would you have to make again? Let's say, for instance, in terms of your supplies, how much would you have to do all over again?
Yeah, not much. Definitely, I think, I speak for myself, but I know from just the word in the street family, a lot of people did overspend because, we didn't know what to expect. Yeah. Sometimes I heard it was low cat 6 and it was a cat 5, so I know a lot of people probably overspend on goods and they got a lot of supplies, but like I guess Kenneth said earlier, don't use it all because we're just in the season, my thing would be, I'm leaving up my plywood on the second floor. I'm taking down what I can, or wherever the breeze is coming from on that side, just to let some air, but I'm not going to take off everything, obviously, because the storm is still there.
Yeah.
And I left all the water containers full. It's just one less thing to kind of worry about. If you have the space, not everyone has space like that, but if you have the space, you can put it outside and you have the help, I would just leave those things, The only thing you have to worry about is probably getting ice, or putting your sandbags back up if you can. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing your views with us. I greatly appreciate that.
Yes, so no problem. Have a good day.
You too, and please stay safe. We have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning there, O.C.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How art thou?
That was good. That was just I just listened to you. I was out safe having doing my exercise there, walking.
Okay.
So I guess I was called by one of your regular callers. Asked me, "You call in yet?" You call in yourself, is it?
You're in competition with someone now, right?
Yeah. And then did Albert from Black call in yet? Huh?
No. But he was making sure. The other day, he wanted to know whether or not he was ahead of you.
Yeah, so hard. We'll see. You were talking to that gentleman just now, the last caller, about preparing. And he said that he's going to leave up his shutters upstairs. Well, see, mine been left up from last year, hurricane season, upstairs, and with extra screws, and I'm the accordion one you pull across.
Okay, yes.
And all I got to do is pull across the bottom one, put extra screws. And I did that early when the hurricane was around Grenada, that I see was coming. So I had a lot of time to help friends. I did our good friend there from Nicaragua. I did her place.
Okay.
I was able to do that, and I went around with Minister Brian. I made like 4 trips of loaded plywood on my truck, and helping him and call up my good friend who lives by the sea. He told me, no, everything good. 11 o'clock, just before A.L. Thompson was ready to close, he said, I just might try to 3 strips of plywood. I need you to pick them up and go and button my place up. Last minute. So I had to drop whatever I was doing and get that done. So all that was done. And then the morning of the hurricane, you know me, want to be out on the road. So when I was talking to you that the morning of the hurricane, I was on the road. I had to drop. I don't know if you noticed. I didn't say bye to you.
Yes.
Yeah. The police pull up alongside of me and flag me down to drop the phone. I was headed east end to carry supplies for people who had generator and never had no gas. Because the gas finished in east end very early, and they were not aware of that. So I had people up there that had sick ones, had generator, but no thing. So I just took the chance of going on the road. But the police went one way and I went next. So I just had to go and do what I had to do. So
how did he stand fair?
Good, really good. I was showing some friends. I said, look, not even to the branches broke. That no debris in the road. I took all my equipment up on a piece of property I have up there, which friends also brought all their boats, and everything was perfect. No trees down, nothing.
Now I saw some photos of the play field, or opposite the play field where the launching ramp was there. Was that from Beryl as well? And what did we have a lot of beach sand deposited?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, that was from the surf.
Okay.
I see where the surf came about I would say about 10 feet from the road.
Okay.
You can see the what we call seaweed kind of thing. The residue and stuff like they're still hanging about 20 feet from the road. So it came about 10 feet up to the road in those areas, those sandy areas. But otherwise, seems to be everything seems to went well. I think what spared us too was see the speed of the system.
Yes.
It was in and out in no time. We didn't get no beating from it.
Yeah.
Like how Ivan came.
Yeah, it didn't sit over us. Yes.
Yeah, it didn't sit on us. So it was in and out in no time. So that was the good part about it. So I think everybody else did well. I just think Osido, they should look into what I'd be talking about is repatriating OC people. That is not essential. People are here and because I'm hearing from a couple of friends that they had people here on temporary work permit who was caution with somebody and all that and the likes that was in problem with food and wasn't sure that the people who got house them because of the situation and the like. So I don't think that we should be having these non-essential people hanging around if we know, because nowadays we know almost if it's going to hit us from time it lead African course. Now almost we can predict the course it'll take. So we should start putting in place some sort of evacuation plan, hazard management or whoever that would come under to get people or immigration would have to, border control, I guess, would have to have a say in that, identify people who's here on these little temporary work permit and the likes.
And of course, bearing in mind that it really should be the employer's responsibility, and some of those employers actually, are proactive. Of course, those are the major ones who have the financial wherewithal and everything to charter aircraft if necessary and evacuate their staff.
Those people I'm not worried about, because like the darts and the likes, they'll fly their people out. I heard that watercolors, that condo down there, they had a lot of their jets came in and fly a lot of people out and the likes, and we know that DART have done that before. I'm talking about people that don't even have employer.
Yes.
Work permit for them to have them on island. That's what I'm talking about. That person is not in any condition or in a situation to be assisting somebody that they only put in a temporary work permit for just to get them on island.
But if we can identify them for that, we can identify them the fact that they're here, the way they are anyway. You said, no employer but no work.
because OC, the fact remains that where some of those people living would be some of the first places might get damaged, and those people gonna have to find somewhere to live. They're gonna need food to eat, water to drink. They gotta create waste that we gotta take care of. So we need to really look at that situation.
Yep. Lord William, we're going to go to a commercial break. Again, thank you for all that you do, as well, and also in terms of keeping us, up to speed with what's happening out there as well. Folks, we have a caller on hold, taking a commercial break. As soon as we return, we will take that caller, so don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
She hear clunk and our car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I'm send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage, with tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Share your feedback on Plan Cayman, the proposed development plan for the Cayman Islands. Access the planning statement at www.plancayman.ky and submit your feedback online or at the ongoing public consultation meetings. Online feedback can be made at plancayman.ky until July 30th.
Tired of feeling exhausted, no matter how much sleep you get? It could be sleep apnea, a condition affecting millions of people that often goes undiagnosed. At Total Health, we believe in the power of preventative care. That's why we're offering at-home Level 2 sleep studies, convenient, comfortable, and conducted in the privacy of your own home. Untreated, sleep apnea can lead to serious health issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. Our comprehensive approach means you get personalized care from start to finish. Wake up to a healthier tomorrow with Total Health. Contact us today at 333-2222 or visit totalhealth.ky to schedule your at-home Level 2 sleep study. Because a good night's sleep is just the beginning. Total Health, your partner in preventative care.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. This Friday, the 5th day of July 2024 here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Dorsey. Mario Eubanks, how you doing?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine. How are you and your family?
Everybody's good, thank God. And I hope everybody who's hearing my voice this morning is grateful to God for his protection, for his hand of grace that helped us through this hurricane. It's amazing driving on the West Bay Road this morning to see that things are so in order. No damage, no buildings are torn apart, no trees on the road, no light poles or lines on the road. When we had a Category 3 or 4 hurricane pass within 50 miles of Grand Cayman.
Yes.
I want to thank God, and I think we are a country that in our Constitution, the preamble, it talks about a Christian heritage. Thank God for this, because this was not, things happen by chance, but the prayers that went up for this country, for these islands, around from people around the world, definitely God answered the prayers. And I want to thank the Premier, the Honorable Premier. Every time she had an opportunity to pray publicly, she did, and she led the country in prayer. And I really want to say to her, well done, thank you. Thank you. And to all of the emergency workers, yourselves in the Radio Cayman, you did a sterling, sorry to use the start for the pun there, you did a sterling job.
Yeah, thank you.
All of you, really. And the emergency, and like I said, the weather service, hazard management, the whole country responded like a practice drill for the day, and I think it was excellent. I have a number of other things I want to talk about, but I'll leave that for another day perhaps. But I'll give you just a little flavor of what I want to talk about.
Sure, we don't have another caller on hold at this point in time, Paul. So you can continue to talk. Go right ahead.
Okay, and I also want to say that all of the hospitals and others that are standing by with prepared for the worst. I want to thank them as well. I know that even at Doctors Hospital, you had two new births during the middle of the storm.
Wow.
That was also amazing, yes, in the maternity ward. So, the whole thing about the flood, stormwater management, we didn't have as much rain in Beryl that we expected, and we had some showers and some gusts and some squalls, but not the pristine kind of rain that we thought.
Right.
So we have to then look at stormwater management and flooding as a work in progress, a major work in progress, and I think that's something that we need to talk about and get sorted out, because we're small, we're filling in all of our wetlands, and the water has to go somewhere, and our water table is very high, so which means the drains will only work a certain extent, and after that they're full and the water comes back to the surface. I also want to talk about the situation with the plywood and sandbags and stuff like that. And I think we talked about that in previous years, that we need to do a better job of managing that, make sure people who receive them store them for future years' use, or they're put in a central depot in each district or each constituency to be quickly accessed for mobilization in future storms, because this business of just taking around plywood every time, and people of course will use it for something else too, which some will do that, but I think they got to, if they give, because as a gift from the government, they need to secure it for the future and have their plans for installing those, whether they're pre-cut and whether they're pre-drilled or whatever, have those ready. The other thing that I want to say that I noticed in this particular instance is some of the banks, the behavior of some of the banks, and a lot of the banks now have their regional head office elsewhere, and locally it seems like the decision makers are really not here in many cases. And there's some people that I'm aware of, not me or not my family, but people that I'm aware of that had their accounts blocked because of this KYC, know your customer processing that was done. And so as a result of them not having their physical address with the bank or their ID up to date and stuff like that, some of them had their accounts blocked, and they couldn't access their money at all. And the banks didn't seem to want to release these people to get access even in a time of a national emergency. I think that SEMA, the Monetary Authority, needs to look at those kind of things, because it is a part of our emergency planning. And the last thing I want to say this morning is some of the behavior of some of the landlords in these islands in terms of not helping their tenants, securing their properties. The landlords, if they're making money, and I believe that the landlords and tenants law, I believe was passed into law, the Northern Act.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, it provides conditions and requirements. I don't know who's enforcing that law, but anybody who is a landlord needs to understand their obligations and responsibilities and do it, and especially in an approaching hurricane, for them not to want to board up or make a priority of boarding or securing or even having shutters. They should have shutters put into these apartments and houses do that, so they wouldn't have to be crisis of boarding up. And so there were some people that I know were left to their own devices and just left at the mercy of God, because there were no shuttering, no shutters, no boarding up, nothing by landlords. So I just want to just leave that as things that we need to talk about and get right. But I want to just end by saying that OC, you like I said, you did a great job. You and Sterling Dween and all the others at Radio Cayman.
Thank you.
And but thank God, thank the government, thank the Premier for leading the country in prayer. And we are a Christian country, and those who come here need to understand that and know now that prayer works, and there is a God in charge of the oceans, the winds, the waves, and He is our God, the Lord God Almighty. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ebanks. We have a caller, but Paul, why don't we take the commercial break early? This way we can allow the caller to talk a little bit longer. Caller, hang in there. We're going to take a commercial break. We will be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my healthcare instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I gonna keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record this Friday, the 7th day of July 2024. Caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. How are you?
Hope you all are well. I'm good, thank you.
I'm fine. I hope you're well as well.
Oh, yeah. I live in a fortress on the bluff. So everybody should build their home.
Yep, safest place in the world.
Trust me, it was very safe. But I'm a little concerned, too, as one of your callers alluded to the fact of the sandbags and the lumber. You know, that is a free thing that the government hands out when there's a storm coming. And it wasn't always that way, basically just in the last recent years. And I do agree that collecting that lumber back and placing it in a storage as well as those sandbags for the next season would make more sense than actually every season we're buying more lumber and handing out more sandbags. I could understand, there are new people joining at the next season. Okay, fine. But the mere fact that we do this whenever there's a storm coming, and it could be 3 of them in the season that we do this for, I just think that it's a bit too much of a wastage on the public purse. And if we are being the proficient government that we're supposed to be, then, some sort of warehouse where this is stored and then distributed when it's needed during the season again. That would make more sense than this constant waste. Because if you've seen, I've seen it in the FOIs, and it's cost us a lot of money, and that's a lot of scholarships that our children aren't getting, and other ways that we should be dealing with our infrastructure and stuff. And we're, not saying that we shouldn't be the kind country and help our fellow citizens out, our residents out when these storms are approaching. But what we now have to be is more smart about it and mindful to the fact that this is money coming out of the coffers every time we do it. So we should start with our own warehouse, buy our own lumber. I mean, we could bring it in ourselves and just store it, as well as the sandbags, and just store them. And then, of course, we would need to get sand from one of the companies who provide that on island, or we can get our shovel and go down to the beach. Why not?
I was going to mention that there are places I know in Grand Cayman where sand that was deposited by Hurricane Ivan 20 years ago is still across the road, and it's there now. We know what the policy is in relation to beach sand, but why couldn't that be used? Pile it up and allow people to get their sandbags there. If they, if there are questions in relation, because we heard a debate about, securing those bags afterwards, not, making sure that they don't contaminate, let's say, for instance, our sea water. So then why not use the sea sand? Like exactly. I said, there are areas where the sand has been deposited on the other side of the road. Bushes have grown up there and stuff like that, and it is still there, has not been touched at all.
Maybe they don't even know about it. Maybe someone needs to point it out, because, a lot of people in our government now are not very familiar with things that has occurred in the past. They're just looking at what's happening today and remembering, well, we do have this or we do have that or we can utilize that. And that's another area that I find with our government, but I see it on a small scale here in the Barack. So I can imagine it's on a larger scale in Grand. The constant repetition of things. If you were being proficient in your planning, you wouldn't have to be repeating. And a lot of that happens. And like I say, it's on a smaller scale than Grand up here in the Barack, but it's wastage. And when you constantly find your government wasting the people's money, then that gets very serious for the people, and people are getting angry, and they're not going to tolerate wastage much more. So accountability better start being put in place and enforced around here. One last thing before I go. With respect to the residential tenancies law, or act now, of 2009, it was passed. It was enacted. It's sitting there. Nobody wants to enforce it, but you as a citizen, you can enforce it. And landlords, there's a problem with landlords in this country. I remember in Hurricane Ivan, my niece, you know who I'm talking about, Dr. Mel, was in an apartment at the top of Prospect Drive with her mom and her siblings, and their landlord didn't even bother to come and board that place up. And the water came in. They were sitting up on the kitchen counters because they didn't have no boards anywhere over their windows trying to survive that storm. That could have been my sister and her children died or in that storm because of neglect by landlords. And I think that when we enforce that Residential Tenancies Act, it also has that form of protection in it, but it needs to be enforced. If you're a landlord and a storm is coming and you're not going to protect your property with tenants in it, then you should no longer have that property be able to be rented come in the future. If you didn't protect it prior to the storm or ensure that during a storm that your properties are protected, then you shouldn't have no right to rent those properties ever again. And I also said this, the problem with our country is we do not have a system where every rental property must be registered and an inspector goes out and inspects that they are in the proper condition that they're supposed to be in. And we need to now look into putting that in place. It's very easy to do because as property managers, we already have these systems in place. We make sure that our properties are taken care of prior to the arrival of the season. And we know that all the things that need to be done for the season is done prior to the season hitting. And I don't see why we can't enforce that part of it for every landlord in the Cayman Islands. Everyone.
I would imagine that it carries a certain amount of liability with it, too, if you don't do it.
Exactly. I mean, well, my sister never got back anything that she lost because of all of that. Her landlord never did give her anything back. In fact, I think he was still bearing down on her for full rent. So that is the other thing that we need to see. If the place isn't habitable, you should not be getting any rent. I remember one property I managed in Turtle Beach Villas, which is no longer there, but when I contacted the owner and said your unit, your property that was on the ground floor is now a dive site. There's a shell. You have nothing inside that apartment. And she kept telling me, I still want my rent. I'm like, lady, did you not understand what I said? Here's the photos. Look at the email I sent you. Your front door and back door are no longer there in your windows, and everything is washed out, and it's a dive site out in 7 Mile Beach somewhere. So that's the other thing. We have landlords that come into this country and buy property and rent them and don't give two hoots about the condition of the property, the tenants that are there that are paying them that massive amount of rent every month. And if we do not have a rent control board that controls that landlords must do these things, X, Y, and Z, then what's the purpose? We're just setting the country up, and that's the problem. We got tenants out here right now that are in all kind of distress because landlords do not do what they're supposed to do, and we have no system in place to ensure that they are actually maintaining those properties and seeing that their tenants are well taken care of, because they're paying you rent. And good rent too. So your part, you have to play your part. And over the years as a property manager, I've gotten rid of my of property managers, owners that were my clients because they're very cheap and greedy and discriminatory. I don't want no Jamaicans. I don't want no Caymanians. I don't want no Hondurans. I don't want no Filipinos. So I guess you were going to get Parrot. All right, Mr. I'll see you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. As well for that. And talking about ply, if you don't have hurricane shutters, and some people may worry about the aesthetics of the plywood being up, and I would just say this. Consider the alternative if you don't have the plywood up, or if you can't get it up and there's a approaching dangerous storm, as well. We all know it is hurricane season, so you put them up. In the fall, the trees know that winter's coming around, so they shed their leaves. They may look like they're dead, but they're not dead. They may not look appealing, but they do it for a reason. So when someone sees that you have plywood, on your windows, it's there for a reason to keep you safe. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Lucy.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, thanks. You want to give thanks to God for sparing us for our sinful one more year, one more time. I can't say one more year.
Certainly. And how did you fare and your family?
So far, thank God we did. We lost some breadfruits and stuff, but thank God everyone was safe. Everything was well secured.
Mm-hmm.
Just a comment on that, just exactly what that lady was just saying in your comments about the sand on the beach. That's when I called in on Monday when hazard management was on. I said to them the same thing. I said, if they're complaining about the chorus sand that they're giving people, because I guess the coffers had the government first had to buy the chorus sand.
Mm-hmm.
Why not use some of the sand on the opposite side of the road that have already been washed over? Because when that washed back in the sea, we know that's that's sea sand.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And they sang out, oh no, they don't want that, don't go there, because they have already made their decisions. I don't know whose purse they were filling. They took it from the coffers, but I don't know who else they were filling with it. But in my opinion, somebody had to sell their forex, so that was a good deposit for them. And number two, and this is already passed. It's just passed during the storm. We need to bring it to the people's or the country's attention. The NRA said that please do not leave your vehicles on the side of the road because it could become hazardous. Because if anything should happen, that the cars start to get knocked all over the place, it could serve everybody.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
As we seen, there was nobody respected us that much to even put their cars on inside property. They put it on the side road. The West Bay Road was nothing but cars, and you could see they did not have, this is my opinion, they didn't have no good intentions, because some vehicles even took off their license plates. So in my opinion, that might have been for the safety of their vehicle. But if that vehicle had become a hazardous to Cayman, our government would have to clean it up, and our people have to. So this is a bridge onto the water already, but what we need to do, we need to enforce that there will be a fine and enforce the fine, because people need to be more responsible for their actions.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That was not very safe, because West Bay Road, we only got one road going to Georgetown, one going to West Bay. And if those cars had managed to get across the road, we were all, and we had an emergency to get to Georgetown, Ambulance has no other road to get out of West Bay.
Now, there was a question, there was an issue about the Kimpton Bridge. Was that ever cleared up? Did they ever get the vehicles from that area?
No, sir. Nobody moved their vehicles. All I seen were more vehicles came. When tonight there were more vehicles put there than not one vehicle was taken away. Like I said, that should have been a perfect revenue caucus for the government, because those people has no respect for authority. I mean, as you can see, in my opinion, there were a lot of them that caught them flights that were going out. They parked their vehicle there and they went about their business. So if they had become a problem, it was going to be our problem.
Yep.
We need in the future, the government needs to enforce that there will be a fine, and not just say it's a fine, enforce the fine. Anybody parked their vehicle there or tow them away at their expense, because in every vehicle that was put on that bridge was a licensed vehicle. Everyone had a sticker. They took down their license plates. There was few, not all, but few of them had their license plates down, because when they were showing it on Cayman Road, few vehicles that didn't have no license plate. So if you took your license plate off, you took it off for a reason, because you didn't want to know it was your vehicle. And that should have been an offense. In a vehicle on the road without a sticker, that should have been with the police, should have been ticketed from the night that they started to put them there, and then they would have knew that they couldn't leave them there.
Yep.
Because that was so government needs to enforce it. And in the future, in a storm approaching the Cayman Islands, where there's a storm or where there's a hurricane, no vehicles are supposed to be put on that bridge, because West Bay has no other access to get to Georgetown in case of emergency, and nobody can get in. So we need to enforce that. So we call on the government to open up their eyes and see that these are things that are needed, and we need to look into it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller, as well. Folks, we've reached that time, top of the hour. Our headline news at 9 o'clock. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the headline news.
Yesterday,
today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Consolidated Water has done an assessment and says its property and equipment sustained no damage after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. The CEO, Rick McTaggart, says given the hurricane's current projected path, the company doesn't expect to have any impacts on its other operations in the region. In the UK, Labour leader Keir Starmer makes his first speech as Prime Minister on Downing Street, adding, quote, "Our work is urgent, and we begin it today." This comes after Starmer met King Charles at Buckingham Palace and was formally invited to form a government. Earlier, Rishi Sunak resigned as Prime Minister and said he would also step down as Conservative Party leader, but not immediately. After a catastrophic night for his party, he said outside Number 10, quote, "I have heard your anger." After 14 years of Conservative government, Labour won the general election in a landslide. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guest in the studio. One day after the passage of Hurricane Beryl in the Cayman Islands, we want to hear from you. Our phone lines 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp 925-3261. It doesn't have to be about Beryl, but it can be about other things as well. But we want to hear about your experiences and get your views in terms of what was done well, where we can improve, as well, because one small matter may just save one life or save many lives as well. We have a WhatsApp caller. Let's go to the WhatsApp phone caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning to everyone this morning.
Good morning. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. I was listening to all of the calls here this morning pertaining to complaining about this and complaining about that. Yes, everyone that called just now had their point. But what about us taking the time, just sparing some time, at least using this media here this morning to give God thanks. Look at what.
And they all have. They all, in all fairness, caller, they all have. They have.
We complain too much, man. We just find one another fault and we forget that when we are in the tight jam, sir, that we rely on God for everything, and after God has come true for us, the first thing we're doing is complaining this morning instead of filling this line up with giving God thanks. All right.
Okay.
That's all I have to say this morning.
Thank you.
We need to be more grateful to God.
No, thank you, and I really appreciate you saying that. But at the same time, we also need to know and we want to know what we could have done better, because we have to be extremely thankful.
We are going to always have complainers, poor people,
oh yeah,
but we're going to always have that.
Yeah, always have the naysayers. Yeah.
Let's take special time, to give God thanks.
Thank you.
At least today, and let's complain another day.
Yes. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you.
Welcome. Have a blessed day.
You too as well. And we do want to know, because while we praise God, we thank God, as well, but God has also provided us with hands, with feet, I should say with a body, and the ability to think and to figure out things as well. So He helps us, but He has given us the tools to help ourselves as well. And when we fall down in terms of helping ourselves, we have to take a look at what we have done and see, how we can do that better as well. We have another caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. How are you and how did you fare?
Oh, well, first of all, I feel like a Mack truck had hit me and they missed the license plate. But as far as how I fared, and let me just say this first and foremost, I prayed long before the hurricane got to us. So I was praying all along and continued to pray. And when I discovered that one of my shutters hadn't been closed, and that's to the north side of my house, which is the most vulnerable side, I just prayed about it. And thank God, I don't even have leaves to pick up out of my yard. So I thank God, I praise Him, and I will continue to thank Him, not just because it has passed and, there wasn't a whole lot of damage or anything. I'm sorry. And so I'm not going to preach to anyone, because prayer is something that it is spiritual. Lips can say anything or any words can roll off of your tongue, but you have to believe it. Otherwise, it's really a waste of time. So unless you're believing what you're praying for and you have the faith to know it will happen, then that really makes no sense. But I do agree, collectively, we can say thanks to God another time and just continue to praise Him. But Mr. Connor, I had a few concerns. These are questions. I don't know if anything had been said about it, and I didn't catch it, or whether it was just an oversight. I don't know. I noticed that there was no garbage collection done for this week here. Usually the garbage trucks come in my area on a Thursday. Since we were supposed to be hit Wednesday night, Thursday morning, I said, well, I know they're not coming then. So I made sure I got my garbage all put out there between Monday and Tuesday. And there was no garbage collection. I spoke to family members in West Bay. It was the same for them. I spoke to people in different areas. It was the same for them. I heard the garbage truck this morning. So that's one of my questions. I don't know what went down there, but I'm wondering.
So they came out to you this morning? They picked up your garbage this morning then?
Well, I am assuming, because I heard a truck, an engine that sounds like the garbage truck. Unfortunately, I can't really get out there.
Okay.
So I can't say for sure, but that's what I'm assuming that it is. And my shutters are still closed, so I can't even look out the window to see. But my question is, why was it picked up before? So, as I said, I don't know if anyone is listening, and they might want to tell us why that was. And I hear people talking about the sandbags and the plywood and so on. And I was having this conversation even before the hurricane, was close to us. And I said, I thought it would be a good thing if, I don't care which government it is in power, but they need to consider, every district needs a proper hurricane shelter. And in addition to a shelter, somewhere they can do it as one big building, central, in the island, or each district have one of these storage places that when plywood is given out, a name, address, and a telephone number is put on the plywood. After it is finished, a lot of people don't have anywhere to store the plywood, or sandbags for that matter. And it could be then returned or collected and taken back to the storage center. And when the next one is threatening, then you pick it up again. Otherwise, it's going to be this cycle of continuous wasting. So it to me makes more sense to spend money one time, and you don't have to keep doing it every year or 3 or 4 times a year. And by the way, I just want to say I wasn't the recipient of even an offer of plywood or any sandbags, so it don't apply to me. But I was thinking about that, and I just thought something like that makes a lot more sense. And serious consideration has to be given to proper hurricane shelters on this island. We don't have any. They use the Civic Center in Bordentown as a hurricane shelter. Now it's being used to house Cubans. So
but one is being it isn't completed yet, and I was surprised that I think they were working towards completion before the hurricane season. But one is being completed in Bordentown that will replace and be much better than where the Civic Center, because that has not been used in years.
Okay, and the other thing, I heard you say something earlier on in the show. You responded to something that a caller said to you. I can tell you who the caller is too, because you called them by name. If that would refresh your memory. And they were talking about people here on temporary work permit, not having anywhere to shelter. And you were saying about the employers, should be sort of responsible for that, making sure they get off the island. And I actually laughed because I said, Mr. Connor, their employers are the problem. They're the ones bringing them here and keeping them here. So they're not going to help them leave, So that would have to be done by some other authority, whether it's immigration or whomever they want to assign that to. But
I would respectfully disagree with that, because when an employer brings a person here, they have to fill out that accommodation sheet and everything as well. And I understand that it is more a formality than anything else, because, it may not be necessarily enforced. But other than a particular nationality having an embassy here, where that embassy will look out for the welfare of their nationals, the system that we have in place, it is the employer's responsibility. It is. No question.
I'm not going to be, sorry. I know that that's the law. But what I'm saying is people are getting around that law in bringing people here. For example, I could bring someone here on a work permit, and I really don't have any work for that person. I'm doing it just as a means for them to stay here. And I am saying employer, because that's the way the law states it.
On paper, you're the employer, irrespective of if they go and work for someone else.
That's what I'm saying. I am the one submitting the application on behalf of Mr. X or Mrs. Y. So I am the employer, and we have a lot of this going on. And it's only for the purpose of the person remaining on island. I'm not speaking about, big employers who actually bring them here.
I understand that.
Secured for that. Yeah. So I just want to say that part of it wouldn't work either, because that employer probably didn't even pay for the work permit. The person who's holding the work permit may have provided, or someone provided the funds for them. It's I'm going to put it in simple terms.
But they have taken the responsibility from a legal, and let's just talk from a legal standpoint, they're responsible. I think we can agree that there are some issues on this that we can't disagree on. I have another caller on hold, so I wanted you to get to your other points before we go to the next caller.
Well, that was going to be my last point, and I just want to say we can always respectfully agree, disagree, okay? But one last note. I didn't say, I don't remember which morning it was now, but the morning that you all were up, there from 7 to whatever time you left.
That would have been Thursday morning.
Okay. And I must say, because I always call to say thank you to you all and to Radio Cayman for what you do. So please forgive me for being late, but thank you very much. And I'm surprised that you're still awake. I would have thought by now that you all would have been conked out somewhere. But anyway, thank you all, to everyone at Radio Cayman for always providing that comfort. And and I just want to say very, very quickly, I know during Ivan, when the power had gone down, I was listening to my radio, and I didn't realize how important and how much comfort it provided to me until everything went down, and I wasn't hearing that radio anymore. And I wondered, did everyone on the island die? Are we the only ones still alive? What's going on? And it became, very frightening at that point, because there's no communication, So you don't realize the service you are providing and the level of comfort. So again, I say thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're most welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much, too.
Okay.
Folks, we have to take a commercial break. We have callers on hold. We will take those calls as soon as we return. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Our rich and diverse natural environment is one of our most important assets. Strong coral reefs are our first line of defense against intense storm waves. Healthy seagrass beds and mangrove forests provide a nursery for the sea creatures we depend on, while our native forests stimulate our rain cycles and help to control inland flooding. Economic resilience requires environmental resilience.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have how many calls, Paul? One caller on the WhatsApp number. Let's go to that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Okay, if you're hearing me, you have your phone on mute. Well, I guess they weren't hearing me. Okay? Yes. Okay. Now, the Department of Environmental Health on the 4th of July, which would have been yesterday, did issue a press release, and I will share this with our audience. Says resumption of garbage collection, July the 4th, 2024, dated. The Department of Environmental Health is announcing the resumption of garbage collection in all islands and is seeking residents' patience and understanding as collection teams have been already deployed. Following the declaration of all clear following the passage of Hurricane Beryl, DEH collection crews came out and are already on the road completing garbage collections. However, routes scheduled, and folks listen clearly to this, routes scheduled for collection on Thursday, that would have been yesterday, will be collected on Friday, the 5th of July, that is today. And routes scheduled for Friday will be done on Saturday. So those scheduled for today will be done tomorrow, the 6th of July. The release then goes on to say that regular operations at all landfills will resume on Friday, the 5th of July, 2024, that is today. Members of the public are also encouraged to use the 24-hour drop-off site at the entrance of the landfill, which will remain open to facilitate the disposal of small amounts of waste from residential customers, if necessary. Goes on then to talk about the fact that given the current weather situation, members of the public are asked to be patient whilst the DEH team continues to work hard and remain committed to resume its regular service. If you want additional information, you can contact the DEH at 949-6696, or you can email them at dehcustomerservice@gov.ky, or you can visit their website, which is www.gov.ky/DEH. And they also have a Facebook page as well. We have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. That's on the WhatsApp number. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Orrett.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, you know.
Good to know.
Before anybody assume that I don't give God thanks for having the life today in X, Y, and Z. We battled through the hurricane together. All I can say is that we should take this in consideration, how communities can work independently, you know, because from what I could understand, it wasn't too much communication from those we expect. And you know, I just gotta give thanks, you know, because people we still need to learn to continue dialogue even on disastrous moments, because like how we talking about now the after effects and what we could improve. I still do believe that we should make it some changes immediately in some sense, because we can't risk having people's lives at risk because of certain insurance claims that could be made. And I mean, in general, what I'm speaking about is like rental apartments and stuff like this. You know, if you have a apartment and you are warned that a hurricane is approaching, you should be able to, in the landlord's expense, shutter the windows and stuff like that, right? You would assume.
Yeah. Yes.
Because it's their property. I mean, we paying extravagant rent, and there was places that don't have borders or anything like boards or even shutters. And you know, I just wanted to say, like, we should make it mandatory that these things happen during these events, because it doesn't make any sense to go by what all these weather forecasters and things saying and trust and hope in God that we'll not get damaged if we don't exercise what we need to do, and ensure that it happens as well. Enforcement on this island needs to improve, because like I heard the other caller was talking about with cars, and I know that they were warned before the hurricane. I know that they were warned. Those people on the side of the bridges, I was saying to myself, that was the most stupidest thing that anybody could do to get on highland, at least that I think of, because you got the people that living on that side of the Salt Creek and things like that, you know, that could possibly be getting those cars in their yards if the winds was hard enough. And I don't know, you know, I'm just saying that we need to be a little bit more responsible. We have third world and first world mixing, and this is where it comes, where we should make a decision also with where they should build houses and can develop. And what could possibly happen if you do take away our natural buffers? You know, like South Sound, they shouldn't have to panic in South Sound if they don't damage the buffers, if they don't damage where the sea would be protected from. I mean, the waves and stuff, where the land would be protected from that. So,
but they all think that being close to the water's edge, that is glamorous and that is nice.
That's not a Caymanian thing, to be honest. Like, if we do have people that build close to the sea, but at least they know they're at a safe distance and hopefully that they can ride the waves. But you do have people that are pushing the borders, like literally pushing the borders where the excavator can get just that right spot where it can break off the rock.
Yeah. And
I don't like the sea, and it don't give me comfort to know that in our island that we're supposed to be well developed since Ivan. Oh my goodness, I know confidently that planning helped with a lot of the structures that we have on our island now that are built since Ivan. But then we do have a lot of people, sir, that are not complying by the law, and they are begging for forgiveness after they've done something they know that it will not be a right decision. And this is development part. You know, we respect our wetlands, but when people don't respect the wetlands, they started calling it expandable land. And I don't like that idea with expandable land. I mean, I understand if you have a good piece of land, you can expand it to another piece of land that's good too. But when you have places that should not be developed on, or even have the idea like the East-West Arterial Road, if they even was to build the road, sir, listen how I talk about this, because I'm not opposing against anything that what the government want to do, just do it the right way, right? But if you was to build the East-West Arterial Road right straight through the wetlands or something like that even, don't put roundabouts there, because roundabouts are at least 80% of the problem that we have on this island with traffic already. It is at least 80%, other than the fact that we have too much cars in the road. We cannot stop that as long as we have this whole entire, they need to increase population because they're giving license out right, left, and center. And this is concerning.
And we see what happens now, because obviously those persons that parked their vehicles on either the bridge or on the side of the road, that's evidence that they do not have a suitable place for their car to be left.
And they don't respect it. Not even that they don't, because even though I hear that, they take the license off just because it might fly off. No, that's stupid. That's actually the reason for that is they don't want to be identified. But it doesn't work that way, because really and truly, like what other caller was saying, the government should have taken that opportunity right there to make sure that their enforcement officers were there taking pictures of the license plates. It's West Bay Road. It's not a hard place to access. I don't want to hear the excuse that they were.
But bear in mind now that all the government departments, including the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, they were also occupied with other things. Don't forget that hurricane shelters and stuff, they had to provide police officers and stuff for that as well. So they were occupied. Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave me there. I have to go to a commercial break, and we have a caller on hold, but I'm going to ask you to leave us there. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded, and the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG Online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a caller still on hold. We will take that caller in a second. One of our listeners has written and said, morning OC, the UK now has a new Prime Minister and a Labour government. What does that mean for the Cayman Islands? Then they go on to say there should be no more plywood distribution for this hurricane season, as well. As far as the plywood distribution is concerned, I know that there are some members of Parliament, some groups who try to hold those persons who receive plywood, accountable. I don't think that they write down names. I don't know whether or not they write down names of people who have gotten plywood and what the quantity was, at all. I would venture to say, while this is a humanitarian issue, that don't be surprised if at some point in time the Auditor General, on her own initiative, makes an investigation into this to see, how it is done, and to make recommendations in that regard as well. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with holding people, accountable. You can't give a person 5, 6, 10 sheets of plywood, and then 1 month later we're threatened by another system, and those same persons are going back to get plywood again. We have to give account for how the people's money is spent as well. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Jose.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hoping that you're okay with the hurricane.
Yep, I'm fine. A lot of mangoes lost on the ground. How did you fare?
Actually, I lost a coconut tree I was expecting that, because during the drought we had, I could see the hurricane fading, all the leaves getting dry, and it snapped off. But apart from that, all of my buildings, everything is fine and, well secured. So thank God, I should have said first, but I'll say it now. I think it should open our eyes and see exactly who's in charge. Huh?
Yep.
Who's in charge? Yeah, that's a big thing. Who's in charge? And I wouldn't say too much, but thank God for sparing our lives to see another hurricane cross us. And if that had hit us anyway, like it did in Grenada, oh my God, what would happen, What about Dr. Steve? You heard from him?
No, I haven't. I'll be checking with him later on today, as soon as the show is over. I got home yesterday evening after 2:03, had something to eat, and crashed and woke up about 11 p.m., and then was on the computer for a while, and then went back to bed, woke up again at 5 this morning, and was right out here. But I'll be in touch with him, definitely.
Yeah. I also want to mention what the lady said earlier, and I think maybe it was a gentleman as well, about those cars being up on that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
That should never happen, because while we know the law enforcement are busy, things like that up front in your face, that should have been looked after from the first car that parked there. I mean, these are the things that you have to be proactive on. Seeing that this thing don't happen, if we had a chaos like a tornado or something to hit those cars, what would happen, And then another thing, I'm talking about the hurricane shutters. You can get some windows that are hurricane impact, 150, 175 knot winds. So if you got those kind of windows into your building, I think you're pretty well safe, because sometimes even the hurricane shutters, if they're not installed properly, they can get loose and fly, And it's becoming so expensive nowadays. If you get yourself a good quality hurricane impact window, probably further ahead, Yeah, and that's guaranteed according to the manufacturer, So that's that. But thank God that we'll live to see another storm pass, and I want to wish you and all of the Cayman Islands all the best. And God is merciful, and let's not forget it. Yeah, I think what we should do. It doesn't mean that we have to go to church, but each Caymanian that are God-fearing should have a little prayer within ourselves and our family, and thank God again. That's what helped us a lot. Like that gentleman said, prayer. There's a lot of things, and that's how it is. So anyway, have yourself a pleasant.
One last question before you go. Do you have a view on the landlord situation in terms of the landlords? in ensuring that their tenants are protected. Not only are they protecting their tenants, but they're also protecting their property, as well, by investing in hurricane-resistant windows, or if they don't have them, then ensuring that they are properly shuttered up during the hurricane. Do you have a view on that?
I think what I would say, if you get, try to afford to get proper windows, impact windows that you can install, and you should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will say this. You hear a lot about landlords, but you don't hear too much nowadays about the tenants. I'm telling you up front, some tenants, I'm sorry, I cannot condone to have one of those people in my property because they are just destroyers. I've been through that in even recent times, and I'm sorry. If you cannot afford a decent deposit and go according to what your contract says, that is the important thing, You should be able to choose your tenants. You shouldn't just be able to take anyone. While we're all human beings, yes, and I feel for them. But some people just don't care what happened because they're renting,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you, sir.
You do the same as well, and continue to stay safe as well. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
OC.
Yes, good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you, and how did you fare?
Oh, really, really well. And yourself?
Pretty good. Thankful, extremely thankful.
How about everybody else at Radio Cayman? Especially Miss Susan.
Well, Miss Susan was actually on vacation, but she, being the dedicated person, that she is, when she was, asked to come in, she was right here. So, she's actually on vacation.
Well, okay, that is what tells people all about Caymanians. That is what we are all about as Caymanians.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we put this country first, right? But it seems like, we have to take back seats in certain ways nowadays, and it's very unfair. But I'm glad everybody fared off really well. I just got in the truck, so I just heard a few comments that was said. But when I got into my truck earlier this morning, there was a lady complaining about the vehicles on the bridge West Bay. Well, I experienced that same thing early. I think it was Wednesday morning or sometime like that, or Tuesday. I think it was Wednesday morning. I could have been Tuesday. And I didn't know what was going on. I thought there was an accident down the road. I thought there was police blockade and they were stopping traffic for vehicles. And I didn't know what to think because, it caught me by surprise. What are all of these vehicles doing on this bridge? So it wasn't until I get down to the roundabout that I realized these people are actually parking their cars on the bridge, I guess, to protect them. And I'm wondering to myself, how could this be allowed? We got a storm that is coming into this country, and if there's emergency that something happens that these vehicles got to go into West Bay or in and out fire truck, what is going to happen? How could they allow this to happen? I don't think this would be allowed any other part of the world than what people are doing in this country and getting away with.
I can't say that while it happened, we can't say that they allowed it. The question is whether or not the government at the time, because, of all the other things that they were dealing with, had the wherewithal to be able to go out there and remove the cars. We know that on the airwaves and stuff, they called on people to remove their cars. It seems as if that call was not heeded. But the question is whether or not they could have, based on all of the other things that were taking place. Now, I believe that they would have learned from this situation, and hopefully going forward, if we're ever faced with a situation like this again, they will have that addressed.
Well, sometimes you have to use your authority, because sometimes you can preach to God not God Almighty. Sometimes you can preach to people, but you know what? it goes through into one ear and it tingles around in their brain for about a second or two and it's back at the other one. So this way not to use enforcement on these people to make them understand. And this is what is not happening. No disrespect to you, Osi, I got a lot of respect for you, but sometimes we need to stop finding excuses for the police department or any other department that's supposed to do their job. And it's not happening. And the day I see it happening, I will be the first one to come on to your talk show. And I say, see, thank God we are getting some results. These people are actually enforcing these things and getting the message out to people, right? Because sometimes human beings just do not. These people think they can come here to this country and do whatever they want. You have to pay if you would not abide by the laws of this country. It's simple as that. And it's really a disgrace what is happening.
Yep.
You know? Anyway, Elsie, thank you very much for listening to me. But, you know, we need to get off our backside and, you know, start enforcing the laws and, you know,
got you.
Get back to where we was, because we are going to hell just like every other country. And I don't want that to happen, because I have young kids. You have young kids. You got grandkids. You want to know that when you're going, you want to leave the best for them. But looking at the way things are going, it's not going to happen. You know, you're going to be in your grave about what? Well, you're not worried about it. You know, you want to go knowing that, you know, you left something behind to your family. And at the end of the day, that is what means more than anything else. Thank you, and have a safe one.
Thank you very much, caller. Paul, let's take that last commercial break. If we have any callers on hold, we will accommodate their call as soon as we return. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
This is Ronnie Anglin. I work in the water sports industry. I'm concerned that our islands are at a high risk of coral bleaching and coral disease outbreaks. Rising sea levels, sea temperatures, and ocean acidification have caused catastrophic increases in the number and severity of coral bleaching events, disease, and death. Snorkeling and diving may one day not be an option. To learn more about climate risk to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. 2 callers on hold, and those will be our last 2 callers. We will get to them in a second. I just want to read some WhatsApp messages as well. One of our listeners said good morning and thanks for all of the hurricane coverage. Miss Archer has a great point about the storage of the plywood. They go on to say, I think it would be better for government to try and put a program in place to assist with hurricane shutters, as well. And I believe that there is a program that was done, and Mr. Carter was engaged in that project with the needs assistant unit in relation to elderly folks and those in need, to ensure that they got shutters, as well. And I will check on that. Another one of our listeners has written and said, many thanks for your continued and diligent work before, during, and during the Hurricane Beryl. On a personal note, just for you, regarding sand for sandbags, a lot of the historic and older graves, and even now some of the newer ones in the South Sound Community Cemetery, are covered or becoming covered as a result of sand from the beach being blown in. I think that quite a bit of it should be removed and used for some other purpose. That sand for sandbags against flooding homes would be a great use. So there we go again. We have a situation where cemeteries, because of where they're located, being inundated by sand, not as a result of a hurricane, but just by under natural conditions. And what do they do with that sand? I'm sure that the suggestion would be, we would prefer that you return it to the beach, but let's see what the DEA, the Department of Environment, has to say on that as well, and to seek some guidance from them. Let's go to the phone lines. Our last two callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC. How you doing, brother?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, but I lost a lot of crop. I lost thousands and thousands of mangoes and avocados.
Yes. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. But the tree's still there. I'm trying to find out what you got to do. Because I know the government helps the farmers in cases like this, But I'm trying to find out what's going on, because up here look like they're in the darkness. So, and I will work that out. I guess everybody pay it off good,
Mm-hmm.
So,
just to say, this is a good time now for the Department of Agriculture to get involved, give some advice to farmers in terms of, what they should do, with those crops, because it's a shame that they should go to waste. Let's put it that way. Huh?
Yeah, well, anybody that wants, because, a lot of people love green mango.
Mm-hmm.
Green mango, to pick some of them back with so they can get them from me for free. I got them, I'm willing to give them away. No problem with that.
Okay.
I see some people lost a couple little ones and won't sell them, but no, I give them mine away. A lot of people want mine. They can check me.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. See, now, this is what I got to tell you now. When we come, because I listen really to what my Caymanian people saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And listen, OC. We have to look ourselves in the mirror and see that you got certain people that in our island have no respect for the Caymanian way of life, the Caymanian period. Because all of the preparation that all our politicians, all our government employees, police, firemen, medical, is preparing for a hurricane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you got people that is taking the value of their cars over the safety of my people, my Caymanian people, and nothing is being done about it. Oh, see, listen to me. I hear you say the police were busy, this one is busy. Listen to me. They know that was happening there. Listen to me now, this is me speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis Jeffrey McKeever, was the premier of the Cayman Islands. At this time, with things like that, I was calling on those guys that got to have equipment, and I am paying them to come with the loaders, the flat wraps, the truck, and pick those trucks up, cars, and take them to the dump. And from time you start them mashing up one or two, You will find owners, and I can guarantee it would never happen again. That would say something. We got to stop taking advantage of the kind-hearted little Cayman Island people. We got to stop it. Or see, these people, anybody do that, don't respect you. That's low down, clean, straight. They're showing you the finger. I park in my car because I know, and they prove it, that nothing will be done about it. And let me tell you something. Once they can get away with it one time, you knock another hurricane come, they put them right back.
Yeah.
Put them right back. They're going to put them right back.
If no sanctions are placed against them, they will do it again. And it goes to show you that they believe then that their motor vehicle, is more valuable than a human life.
Yes, because that's all they got. A lot of them where they come from, hey, they don't even want breeze blow their vehicles.
Don't forget now, though, that there are many Caymanians living in those areas as well. We don't know the nationalities of those persons who put their cars there. So I don't think we should point fingers at any particular class.
I said, look here. Oh, see?
No, I'm reminding myself of that. I'm not saying that you say that.
Listen to me. You can get a pedigree dog. You can pay $2,000 for a dog. And if you don't train it right, you don't put it in the right environment, it's not going to be no good.
Yep.
And you can go to the garbage dump and pick up a mongrel and train it to be one of the most intelligent dogs on earth.
I like that analogy.
Good. So, you got Caymanians. You got Caymanians too. And I'm a Caymanian now. You got Caymanian that shouldn't even have a puppy, a dog, because they have no responsibility and they were not taught any. So they are so easily influenced by outside fools.
Yeah.
They have no manners for anybody.
Yeah.
Their country, my country, or any country.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give this last caller a chance to get a few words in before we close off. Thank you very much, Elvis, and thanks for the offer. As well, I know that we'll probably have some people in Grand Cayman and say, oh yeah, we'll take them from Elvis if we'll send them to, the Grand Cayman for us. No, if he's giving them to you, then you would have to assume the cost of getting them here as well. Let's grab the last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, my love. I'm fine, thank you. And you're all doing a fabulous job.
Thank you.
I have a complaint about this Scotiabank South Sound branch.
Okay.
I went in there on Tuesday to try and get some money. Well, I know it's cashless. It should be more slackness than cashless. But I knew you can't get it from the teller, but I always get it from the ATM machine. So when I went there, I saw this big old sign talking about can't get no money out of the ATM machine. I complained to the manager, and she explained a whole heap of things. I said, but hurricane coming, you should have extra money or whatever in this machine. I don't understand it. This is bloody slackness. So she gave me a whole long spiel and everything. But I just thought, hurricane is coming. They should have been more prepared to know more people will be going, especially since it's cashless, like you say. You can't get it from the teller, but at least you can get it from the ATM machine. So she said, she took my name, said she would call me when she had some money in it. Up to now, I don't hear from her. I went back again on Wednesday, still no money. I called this morning to find out if they have any money at the branch. It's some calling center, so you can't get no headway with them. They can't tell you where the money is there or not.
And that call center is not located on island, I would imagine.
Not. So you can't get nothing much out of them. So I just thought I would, mention that because it's really terrible.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you very much, my dear, for listening, and all the very best.
Thank you, and all the best to you too. Please stay safe as well. We still have about 3 minutes to go. We can squeeze another call in if someone is fast on the draw and they can... especially if you have Radio Cayman on speed dial, you could get another call in before we close out. If not, I spoke earlier about the UK and the elections. Keir Starmer has met with the King. He has been asked to form a government. That will take place. What we here in the Cayman Islands are usually curious about is who will be the minister for the overseas territories. The other question is, well, on the whole issue of beneficial ownership, let's see the position that the Labour government will take, as far as that is concerned as well. Someone was trying to call in on the WhatsApp number and the call dropped. We only have 2 minutes left. So basically that is it. The gentleman that I'm looking for and my star in the Labour government is a gentleman by the name of David Lammy. And David Lammy, in contrast to some of the other privileged persons in the UK with upbringing, he was a shadow foreign secretary, and he's one of 5 siblings who were raised by his single mother in a working class household in Tottenham, North London. After 24 years as the area's MP, however, this is an article from the Guardian, and that article say he was hoping, to be successful. Well, I can tell you now that he was successful. I think either 53 or 57% of the vote in his constituency. So there were something like 9 or 10 candidates in that constituency. He got the 57%. Of the vote there. There was a lower turnout than normal in that constituency, but he is there. The article goes on to say that Lammy, 51, I should also let you know he's of Guyanese descent as well, he may have grown up in challenging circumstances in an area that was blighted by the 1985 race riots, but his biographer makes him difficult to pigeonhole socially. At the age of 10, he won a choral scholarship to King's School in Peterborough, the state-funded school for choristers, I believe that is the way that's pronounced, in the city's cathedral, going on to be head boy. He was educated at School of Oriental and African Studies in London and at Harvard Law School, becoming its first black British alumnus. He worked in several California law firms before returning to the UK in 2000, standing for the seat of Tottenham after the death of its long-term MP Bernie Grant. At 27, he was the youngest then member of Parliament. Green, who Lammy married, that's his wife, in 2005. She's a portrait painter and social historian whose work is in the permanent collection of the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and the Library of Congress. In 2008, she shadowed the presidential campaign of Barack Obama, a longtime friend of Lammy's, until his election, producing a series of artworks. The couple have 3 children. As a child, Lammy has previously acknowledged, and he's, quote, "I wanted to be somebody. My dad died a pauper in the United States, and he really was a nobody by the time he died." So that was a powerful driver. Lammy has also spoken in the past of his irritation with political labels, which have at different times pigeonholed him vicariously as a Blairite or a left-winger. Instead, he said, "I'm interested in power." Should his party win, and they have won, he will have plenty of that as foreign secretary. One recent report described Lammy as, and I quote, a Trump whisperer who had adopted a softly spoken approach on a recent visit to Washington in an attempt to lobby the Biden and Trump teams on Ukraine. Lammy's stealthy effort below the waterline was, and I quote, further evidence of an opposition which wants to be taken seriously as a government in waiting. They're no longer in waiting, folks, and we look to see whether or not David Lammy will become the foreign secretary. It is normal that if you are a shadow minister, a shadow person in the opposition, that you will then assume that position because you have shadowed, you know what is going on, you ask the questions and whatever. Let's see what David Lamé does. For us here in overseas territories, the question is, who will be the minister for the overseas territories? And the bigger question is, what will Labour's position be in terms of the issue of beneficial ownership? And will they continue to protect the overseas territories, and in particular jurisdictions like the Cayman Islands, from the onslaught that they have brought upon us, you know, as far as the financial sector is concerned. With that, folks, I say to you all, have a great weekend. Please stay safe. Again, we are extremely grateful for God's blessing in keeping us safe as well. Have a great day. Don't forget, we are our brothers and our sisters keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to Worthy Charity. You've heard about the accomplishments of Meals on Wheels as well. You can assist them as well. Continue to support Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.